We got it. We are being live streamed. Thank you, everyone, for your patience. My goodness. I'm just going to give a moment for the notifications to go out on Facebook and get really into having people join us. I know that there are people here on Zoom in the audience, but we've had a few tech issues this morning, so we've now got that sorted. We're out here, so please, if you get your notification, please join us. We'd love to have you here. This is a really super juicy topic that we are talking about today. It is called Your Energy, Your Business. You could even call it Your Business, Your Energy. It's like a complete duality of both. And as I was saying to the women here before, like, I'm on a mission to get these people to see that it's all about your energy. Like, it's just, if you could focus on that, what you can control, what you can't control, etc., and focus that on your business, things will just shift so much easier. Everything will just be simple. It's because it's you. It's what you do each and every day. It's your energy. It's natural. So as you hop on, please say hello if you are here on Facebook. We would love to see you. And I want to introduce, I'm going to partially introduce each panel member here today. And I'm going to allow them to introduce themselves and tell you directly from the horse's mouth what it is, what they do, and what made them come here today for this panel discussion, because we will go into a few questions very, very shortly, and we will take a look at the answers from each of our panelists around the room as we go. So let's go. Let's start with, we have Linda Binns. Good morning, Linda. Please tell us, good evening. Please tell us where you're from. Tell us about you. 2 minutes as we start at 11:11 a.m.
Well, I'm from England originally, but I've been living in the United States for the last 29 years, and right now I'm in just outside of Portland in Oregon. So my business is all about energy. It's about helping people understand and manage their energy. I specialize in working with those people who are highly sensitive and empaths, and help them learn how they're giving their energy, their power away, and to stop doing that, so that they can really channel their energy into what's right for them and learning what that is as well. So I love any topic to do with energy. I could talk about it all day. So yes,
you and me both.
Yes.
Wonderful. Thank you for sharing that. Lisa, tell us where you're from and what you're about.
I am Lisa Montgomery, and I live in Palm Bay, Florida, which is Central Florida coast. Yes, we're burning up here. And my business is The Guideline, and I have been an entrepreneur for 25 years. And before the business I just started, I have owned a luxury travel business. And I finally decided to give in to all of my psychic abilities and my business coaching abilities. And so therefore energy, correct?
And it becomes natural, yeah.
It does. I finally just went, oh, I've just got to do it. I've got to surrender and do it. And so I'm with Linda on once you understand energy, it makes life so much easier, so much easier. Yeah. It takes years off your life. I mean, put you backwards, I mean, a good way.
Yes,
makes you younger, it's not older.
It's putting on the skin cream, isn't it? It's like the 25-year-old look. Look at me.
it is. It's just, so much easier. Life is so much easier.
It is. Thank you very much, Lisa. What about you, Denise?
I'm Biati in Canada, and I founded Muscle Tuners International. And where I come from is understanding, believing, and knowing that because people are suffering, trying to get over rehabilitation after accidents or other physical challenges, they don't have to suffer. So I teach people, like wellness professionals, to use an energy approach called muscle testing to identify where the source of the issue is and effectively figure out what to do to clear it. And as a sideline to that, I also use muscle testing to identify where blockages are in people's businesses. And we shift that using vibrational therapy. So I love energy.
Well, we're all very excited for the energy, and yes, it's a beautiful way of understanding, just before we go into our final panelist, Bex, how each of us have our own way of doing things in our business, yet we all have embodied the same frequency of energy, you know? Bex, let's go. Tell us about you and what you do.
Yeah, lovely to be here today. I'm coming to you from Sydney, Australia, and I'm Bex Smith, the cheerleader for change. So I'm all about empowering ambitious women to navigate the highs and lows and really looking at the emotional cycle of change, because energy in motion is emotion. So keeping your emotion in flow and your energy in motion means that you're to go through any changes in your life that you may be aware of or that are happening unconsciously until they become conscious. So I'm here to help and be the cheerleader for anything that is happening for anyone out there.
Oh, that's beautiful. Thank you. Thank you so much, ladies, for introducing yourself. And finally, I'll introduce myself for those who are uncertain of who I am. My name is Alison Cotton. Spirit call me the Soul Connector. People call me normally an Ascension Guide or an Oracle, because there are perspective shifts that I can offer that come through me from your spirit guides in a session that is from a grounded and practical approach, that when we apply it to what's going on right now in your business, you kind of go, oh, you see the shift and then you make it happen. And then we go forward working together doing that. So it's, as I said to the women earlier, it's about getting people to wake up and see that. Get people to wake up and see that it is okay to do it your goddamn way, and that no one else has got any say in it. Like, it kind of like really irks me when you go, no, do it this way. It's like, no, don't do it this way. I'm very much in my human design. By human design, I am a generator. And I do not like being controlled. I have that in my chart, and I have very much worked out what that looks like for me. So I'm very good at detecting the BS radar, if you want to call it that. Like, you know, and so I come from that space, and I just wanted to share that with everyone. All right, so let's dive into today's discussion, your energy, your business. My goodness. I want to go around the table here and ask these questions, and the ladies have been given the questions before we spoke, so they have an answer for each of us. But what I really want to start at, why did you start your business, and how, and what are some of the ways that you have aligned your energy with your business to achieve success? So as we go around the room, I'd really love to start with Denise and just, fill us in on that. Like, how did you, why are you doing your business? What is your why? What is your purpose here? And in that, what is, you know, the ways that you got yourself in alignment there?
Because of an eye-opening, eyebrow-raising experience when I first experienced muscle testing and felt the shift in my body, the energetic shift from nothing there to 100%, I went, this is what I want to do when I grow up. And so I don't.
Sorry, I think we've lost your sound.
Having that experience with a chiropractor who did muscle testing, and I went, this is what I want to do when I grow up. And so my why really is to show what I do to therapists who have complex clients. They don't know what to do next because they're not, the tools that they have are not getting through. And it's just a long, painful process for everybody involved. That's my why. It's just to make them accomplish more with less effort.
Mhm. Yep.
And
why wouldn't you really?
And so really that's the why. And I have to think about the why when it's not easy, when it's not fun, when there's a lot of work, when there are struggles, and to say, I can't just stop now because there's all these people that need to know about this. And that just keeps me moving through struggles that I've.
Yeah, and I totally resonate with that story, because I too, like, I hold on to my why every single day. On any time that there's a wobble, you know, you're up leveling, you know, you've had a fight with your husband, and you know, you're going into your business and you feel like, and you're like, no, flip the switch. We're not going in there like that. It's the wrong energy. Yes, it's doing that. I so hear that story. Thank you. Bex, what's your why and how has it helped you?
Well, my why is because I am an ambitious woman navigating my highs and lows. And so I've found over my journey that I really need to be my own cheerleader. And I also need to reach out for help sometimes too. So help is also available with other people that are going through things. So change is something that we all go through, and is something that I think each of us have our own personal struggle with, but really it's not the struggle of change, it's the emotional aspect of change. So I'm really passionate about you know, body awareness and emotional intelligence. So I've been able to look to nature as a gift, to see the reflection of the cycles that nature goes through and the different aspects of nature, to be able to reflect my journey and make sense of that through the different elements. So my why is to really help other women understand that their emotional cycle of change is much like nature, and we embrace nature and can understand nature in the way that it goes through its cycles. So why not have that same compassion for our beautiful selves as well, as we ride our wild waves of emotions and really get those emotional currents all the way to success.
I hear you so deeply in that. Like, it sort of got me right in that solar plexus area there. Seriously, that is just, yes, you feel that passion, and I hear you in that same, you know, it reminds me of oneness. When we are one, we are. And my darling dingo, who is not currently in any camera shot view, but he told me his name was Ubuntu, and I had no idea what that meant at the time. I looked it up the next minute, and Ubuntu is an African philosophy for I am because you are. And when you told that story, it really reminded me of him, like his name and his meaning behind it. So thank you. It was just, that's gorgeous. Absolutely gorgeous. Lisa.
Oh, goodness. Why I do what I do. I have been working, I work with a lot of women entrepreneurs. And this thing that I have seen, no matter what level they're at, is that number one, they're being told that they need to be doing things a different way, versus actually looking at what they really, really want to do, or helping them figure that out, because they've got some humongous skill set. They have all these different things they want to accomplish, but what's that thing? What is that one thing? And let's focus on that. So I help them figure that out. And I help them find the confidence in themselves and belief in themselves, and teach them to use their intuition to trust themselves to get it done. I'm super passionate about it. I'm super focused on it. My nickname's the Hammer.
Yeah.
Just so you know, I am direct. I'm kind, but I'm direct.
Welcome to the
no
club.
Nonsense here, baby. So,
welcome to the club. I tell you that I think, and I had this conversation not too long ago with a friend of mine, and he says, why are you so blunt? And I'm like, I'm not. I'm just seeing it from my perspective, and he needed to hear it. I wouldn't have said it if it wasn't meant to be in that timing. I've learned through my own energy to do that. You know,
And when I don't, and when
And-
you don't open your mouth at that time, you are really not doing the other person justice. You're not doing the right thing for them, because they're supposed to hear that. Just because you're uncomfortable, that's too bad.
yeah, there is a timing in things though too, I have learned.
There is.
Absolutely, you know, don't say things when you're in the heat of the moment, because it's the wrong thing every time.
No. Yep.
Many years of playing that experiential game. Linda, love to hear from you. What's your why?
I think I've always been compelled whenever I learn something that's helpful for me. I've always felt compelled to share it, to share it with other people. And, you know, even when for as long as I can remember, people have come to me and just shared their problems, even when I didn't know what to do with that. I guess I was a good listener. But once I started to learn about energy, and I really did that just for my own interest in the beginning, energy of the body, energy of our environment. And then I started to become aware of, you know, the energy of our thoughts and beliefs, and basically that everything is energy. And then I was always someone who, if there was a difficult way to do it, I found the difficult way to do it. And then when I really started understanding energy, it was such a transformation. It's like, oh my gosh, you focus on energy, you change the energy, you change anything, and it doesn't have to be hard. And just really, I just have such a passion for sharing with people who feel so stuck, or who've been giving their energy away and who don't think there's any other way, to show them that just by understanding the concept of energy, changing their energy, how they're responding to the energy around them, that anything can change. And it's not hard. It can be very practical. It can be very simple. And the changes are dramatic. So that's my why, really. I mean, everything is energy. I love talking about energy, working with energy, helping people understand that. And when somebody gets that and they make a change that they thought was impossible, that just lights me up.
Oh yeah, absolutely. And I can see everyone else going, So it's kind of like, and this is why we do what we like, why we do what we do, and why we are so passionate about today's subject with your energy. It's your business, or as I said earlier, it's your business, your energy. You get to choose what the hell you do with it, how you want to be, how you want to promote yourself, how you want to, like, there is no right or wrong here. You know, this is the part of life that is joy and flow and alignment, and put all those other buzzwords in there as at your will, you know. But we're going down the avenue here of everyone is unique, and please see yourself in that light. Don't box yourself into something or somebody that you are not, or don't follow the leader in that essence, because you come across, like Linda said, you come across those blocks. You don't know what you push against the wrong thing, right? And each one of these women here have tools that they can use and share with us today about what that can, how doing this work, right? Doing your why and your business, your energy, what practical tips can you offer us, ladies, that for those listening and looking to create a business that is aligned to their energy, which will be the last topic that we go into. You know, do you have anything that you could share with the audience today around getting there? Denise, we'll start with you.
Sure. Can you hear me loud enough now?
Yes, absolutely. Perfect.
Oh, good. I solved that. So
thank you.
One of my challenges in business is that when I was coming along, a lot of even the females, it was a very masculine approach that didn't work for me as a soul heart-based entrepreneur. And my business coach, God bless him, he's male, he knows his stuff. And he goes, oh, you're going to Denisify it. I know you're going to Denisify it. I've given you the stuff. And I'm going, yes, because it doesn't work with the people I want to attract when I use the typical sales model. So
Yeah.
I empower people to personalize it for yourself. And there's two things I find very, very valuable. There are people who set goals and they go, okay, that's it, got the goal set. You have to revisit the goal, because it's like when you're driving somewhere you've never been before, you don't just put the map away. You drive down the road, and then when you hit the next town, you go, now what highway do I have to turn off, right? Is it east or west? And you follow this way. Let's say you're on a travel for 2 or 3 days. You're not going to have it all in your head. So you have to refer to your map.
Mm.
Now, with the goal, a lot of people will do a one approach deal. Nothing against any of these approaches. I just believe in accessing all the potential frequencies that you can have. So people will visualize their goal. How great is that, right? You have to visualize it if you're a visually type person, or if you're kinesthetic, you've got to feel it. And some people are very auditory, so they have to hear what self-talk is in their head, or they have to think about what will they be hearing when they're successful. So those are common types of art, what you see, what you hear, what you feel. And then there's what are you smelling? What are you tasting when you've got that goal? And what colors are you, what is the quality of the light, and what thoughts are you having? And you have to imprint that into the goal. And if you don't, some people use aromatherapy. How beautiful. Some people use tapping. How amazing. The thing is you need, I think, to be truly successful is bring that all together. And that's all in the world of energy, and it can all be in your head. And then when you've got that picture, may I back off and show you something here on the screen? And I'll describe it for people who are listening. Is basically you want to get your meridian system tuned up in flowing by putting one ankle over the other and planting one wrist over the other. Then you flop your palms together to grasp your hands. You can sit that down in your lap. And now the meridian ending points in your feet and your fingers are much closer together. And you breathe and you envision that goal. And you see it, you hear it, you feel it, you taste it, you smell it, you think about it, and you see the beautiful quality of light that surrounds it. But to make the energy flow in your meridian system, you basically have to put the tongue on the roof of the mouth. And that connects the right side with the left side, the logical with the creative, all the yin and the yang. And so that would be my tip. And I have started many a meeting where it's important decisions have to be made. We will do that as a group. We'll cross our feet and at the ankle, cross our hands. You can also bring, if you can fold your arms, bring your hands close to your heart and then imprint with the electromagnetic frequency that people are learning about that emanates from the heart. And sitting there, I've had people do that who are pinned to the ceiling with stress. You feel their vibes are like this. And you get them to do that. And literally in about 1 minute, 2 minutes, usually no more than 3 minutes, the whole energy field just calms down. So now when you are aligned with your meridians and you have that image in your heart, your head, your feeling, your taste buds, everything, it smashes it together. And that would be my tip. If anybody's not heard of that, please try it. It's really lovely.
Thank you, Denise. I was actually doing the process as you were explaining it, and I was sitting there and I'm thinking, how long have I got to wait till I let go? And then you moved back up to the camera and went, okay, I'll let go now. It was kind of intuitively. I didn't know because you didn't say. Thank you. I actually feel when you're explaining the benefits, I'm thinking,
There's a part
so ladies
too.
and gentlemen, try it, promise.
Also, when you let go of your feet crossed and your arms crossed, it's lovely to imagine half of you here, half of you there, and you bring your fingertips together like a prayer position. Then it's really nice to bring that in your heart. And that symbolizes your desire to integrate truly the right and the left.
I feel that. Yeah, I feel that running through me.
Mhm.
Amazing. You have to try this, people. I tell you, just in the 3.5 minutes I've done this, I'm going to keep doing this. Carry on. Linda, let's go to you.
Well, I find that it's really helpful to think in terms of experiences. And that's really what Denise was just explaining, getting into the detail of it. Because when you think about a goal, it seems it's very structured. It's very, I don't know, just, well, I don't like them. I'll say that. So I like to think in terms of
She's a woman of
experience.
flow, people.
What's the experience you want to have? What's the experience you want people to have of you in your business? When people come to your business, what is the experience you want to have? So I find that it's more helpful for people to think in terms of experiences. They can go into a lot more detail more easily when you think of it, the experience you want, rather than thinking specifically of the goal. So one of the biggest challenges I find clients have when they come to me is they think they know what they want, but they really don't. What they think they want is really what somebody else wants, or what they think they should want. But once they start to really open up and we start to look at, okay, why are you doing this? What is the experience you're looking for? Then people start to get a lot more clarity, I found. So that would be my tip, is to think in terms of experiences rather than goals, because goals can just be so static, and experiences just open up so much more for you.
I hear you very deeply on that. There is, like, as the human design expert here, it's just like, that is so much of conditioning from social, parental, educational, like every system under the world in the globe right now. And it frustrates me because I see that conditioning, then the goals, and there's nothing wrong with the terminology, I think, of the word goal, because it's an outcome. But this flow that you explained with the experience, and I kind of sense, if I put Linda's with Denise, wow, what am I going to get out of this? So I want to hear from Bex. What's the next stack that I can add on? This is going to get me straight into alignment for this by the end of our session today.
Well, we have seasons for reasons in nature, and we have seasons for reasons in ourselves. And so I think one of the biggest challenges that I've noticed for myself is that, I might be in a season, like in winter now and where I live, but I might actually be feeling the summer season of the fire in my belly to do things. And so that sometimes goes, where you are compared to how you feel. So that's one acknowledgement that I just want to make. But I think within ourselves, we have our own seasons. And as women, we have a cycle, which is a monthly cycle that is the 4 seasons in itself. And so for me, it's really about honoring the seasons within myself in the way of my energy and my emotional energy as well, as I go through each week of my 4-week cycle. In relation to my body, my physical cycle, and then what impact that has on my emotional cycle. And so, a great teacher of mine once said, when you're in, when you have your menstruation, it's about that coming in, and, don't make any decisions, bleed on it. So, take the time to not make decisions or do things that are that external action orientation, when you actually need to come back into yourself and use your energy to take care of you and to self-care.
Yeah.
And I'm not saying that everybody should do that at the time of that, because some people are also motivated. They've got the energy, the fire, if they've got that part of their life or their physicality. So really tuning into your body, and that's where body awareness is so important in connection with emotional awareness. What's happening for your body physically, and then that actually is that ripple effect from what's going to happen with your emotions as well, because thoughts turn into physical, And then in between all of that, there's the emotional that is connected to each aspect of self through that. So yeah, really
Yes.
looking at the elements to sort of find your flow. And that's what I help women do. And that's my biggest tip, I guess, is to find your flow in change or in whatever you're doing. And it's as easy as thinking of the air element as thinking, the earth as planning, getting your foundations, the water as your feeling, and then the fire as you're doing. So I work with people to see where their pleasure and pain points are. So, you know, my pleasure point is feeling. I'm good at that. I can do that. I, you know, don't mind doing that, going to the depths. And then my pain point is planning. So getting that foundation, getting that strong foundation before I start moving into the feeling, because I just want to jump to the feeling because I'm good at it. So, you know, being able to acknowledge where your pleasure and pain points are to keep that flow is really important to keep going through your own personal seasons.
Yes. And again, I hear this so within myself, you know, like I had come home from driving 5 hours in the car. So and from my accident last year with the hip, it's quite injured. So I know my body when it needs to have a magnesium bath. And I kind of got out of the car and went, 5 hours stiff. Need magnesium bath now. Done that. And then I got this intuitive nudge to go for a float because it's a bigger magnesium bath. And I feel like that's what my body needs. So I'm so thankful that you've mentioned the body consciousness as an important role in this. And I really feel that there's 4 layers, you know, maybe even more, but there's the spiritual, then there's the mind, then there is the physical, and then there's the emotional. You know, all 4 elements really play a role in our experience on this earth. And when you find that flow, it's really easy to navigate. So that's what I heard from so far. So Lisa, what are your tips that you could help with?
Well, one thing that I make everybody do, because I find that it's a big problem, is I make them simplify everything. They have to stop intaking and social media, and I've got to learn more, and I've got to do this, and I've got to do. It's like, no, you don't. Turn it all off. And when you hear that, you immediately kind of take a breath, right? And after they fight it a little bit, because guess what? You can't listen to yourself. You can't know yourself when you're only listening to everyone else and their opinions and what they think and how you should be doing something or not doing something. I think some other people here talked about that a little bit, right? And so you can't get to your authentic self, which when you find her, it's beautiful, right? It's like, oh, this is so much easier. Why haven't I been doing this my whole life? Well, I had to get to be 63 to get there. Okay. So that's that. But
that was your lesson this time.
That was oh man, I'm telling you. But I just think it's a big part of it. And then once you can calm yourself down enough to listen to yourself, it's like, what are you really good at? What do you really want to do? Is that where you're spending your time? Because you're going to find like those resistance walls, which that resistance, I just look at that like a big energetic brick wall, right? So why do I keep bumping up against it? Is it because somebody else thinks I should be doing it that way? Is because I convinced myself I'm just going to get there, and actually maybe it's just not the right thing, and that's why the resistance is there? So those types of things are, if you can pay attention to those, it's like, what do I really want? Is that resistance? Is that something that is going to give me what I really want? No, it's not. So there's asking some questions, right? No, it's not.
Yeah.
And you run into that with arguments with people, or problems with clients, or problems with people you work with, because usually you aren't asking for what you really want or need.
Yeah.
So
that's a huge, powerful message there. Thank you, Lisa. And I was just writing down as you were wrapping up, like what I got from the entire conversation was, if I align my meridians, through my experience, to find my flow and ask the right questions, we get to this grand old scenario called alignment. So, and I think as every spiritual, soul-led, heartfelt woman here and who's on this same mission to make this normal, like make this, everyone is unique in their own way, doing their own thing, finding their own path, you know, and it's goddamn normal. You don't have to be boxed in, please, no more. So I want to dive into our final question today, because with alignment, with that flow, with that feeling of everything just is working out in my favor, and how can this day get better and better and better? That's kind of what alignment feels like for me. I'd love to hear what alignment feels like for you in that way. Like, it doesn't have to be, you could create a visual, you could tell us in the body consciousness, but it kind of feels, in the human design aspect, it feels like yes, like a sacral, real firm, like yes energy. It's like a follow that energy. It's kind of exciting and you want to keep moving into that. I'd like to know what your alignment is, and what is a challenge that keeps you, I kind of feel like a sense of it's a wobble, right? You find an edge, like you're moving along in your alignment just perfectly fine, everything's going grand, and suddenly you bump up against one of those energetic walls, right? And you ask those questions and you find that it's an edge. It's an edge that you need to go into, right? What would be a challenge that you would feel that would be, that you find your clients coming up against in their business when it comes to their energy? You know, what's the best way, what's to balance that strategic action section versus that flowing energy that we've been talking about today? And we'll start with you, Bex. Did I say that in a roundabout fashion?
I'm gonna bring it back to succinctly, so it's all good. So my
thank you.
my alignment is when I find myself in flow. So when I really feel that I am in sync with myself and in nature, and I don't have to, I'm not coming up against the brick walls or the challenges within myself, and I'm also optimistic. So that's something in relation to the emotional change cycle, is when you're in that place of success or perceived success, fulfillment, you're optimistic. So you can see the bright side of things. So once I get into disalignment or unalignment, I am noticing that the pessimist comes out. So I'm starting to go below that curve, that emotional change curve of optimism and pessimism. And it's like informed pessimism. I know I'm being pessimistic, but I just can't stop myself. So it's like, okay, that's that part now that is, I'm getting pressure. I'm getting pressure from an external piece, or I'm actually putting internal pressure on myself.
Yeah.
And I like to think of
a good indicator.
Life's pressures, are not just obstacles, there are personal trainers. So just like we go and lift our, lift muscles, lift weights for muscles, or do
lift muscles,
exercises for our
of course
heart.
we do.
Life's pressures are obstacles. There are personal trainers to build our emotional muscle, to build our resistance or resilience to things. So it's really, I think, about finding that flow, but then also, leaning up against those things that are actually in that external, and then finding yourself in that, not going down to the valley of despair, but rather going, okay, I know this is happening. This is that bitchy self. I call it bitchy Bex. Bitchy Bex is here. Let's realign and let's bring cheerleader Bex in, and let's get that optimism back in. Let's get that fun back in, because I also end up not having fun. I'm like, this isn't fun anymore. Okay, I've got to shift that to the next level. My energy and fun. So I bring cheerleader Bex
Absolutely.
in and go from there.
That is super powerful. And yes, I call my bitchy Bex, I call her Betty. Back off, Betty. Get out the back. Like, you're not welcome here. So totally, absolutely perfect way. And it comes off Lisa's asking questions. It's like reminding ourselves to ask those questions, but observe, pause and observe. Like the energy doesn't always need to flow. Sometimes there is a pause required to make a clear decision, you know, because sometimes that can also, you know, by following that flow, thinking that it has to be now, and we were talking about the right timing, you know, it has to be in that right timing. It can't, you have to notice when you're pushing, and is it pushing too far? Has it become the point where you have recognized that enough is enough? Or is it you're just pushing yourself to sort of, you know, get yourself back into alignment? There's this really fine line with that too, that I'm hearing, of working that out in such a succinct way. All right, Lisa, let's hear from you.
I'm a professional at this. Getting out of alignment, going back in, getting out, going back in, which means I can help people a lot with it. So it's kind of funny because when I'm in alignment, everything just feels magical. It's like you just go through these days and everything's fun. I loved it when Bex said fun, because if I'm not having fun, everybody knows. And you can tell I'm kind of a high energy kind of, yay, I'm a cheerleader too, Bex. So, but when I find that I'm not in alignment or I'm getting all funky, you know, it's more, I find that I'm working on things that I shouldn't be working on. These are things that I should be either establishing a different period of time to work on them, and I should be going back to something that I love doing to get myself back into the right frame of mind of doing it, and making sure that I'm taking breaks and making sure I'm giving myself, you know, that Bex, again, I spend a lot of time like grounding myself outside with my feet on the ground, because you have to spend time in nature. You have to give yourself breaks. You have to find what works for you. Does that help at all?
Yes, 1,000,000%.
I can go on forever, but there are other people here. So
yes, and it all intertwines. The way we do things is all similar, but it's our own unique flow. It's our own unique way. And I love that we're sharing this for everyone to hear for themselves too. You know, we need to shake some people awake and say, hey, it's all right. You can do it your own way.
And
Linda.
The other thing, I was going to say quickly, the other thing is too, that, I mean, you do need community. It may be one person that's your community, but you've got to have those other people that you are in tune with to help either kick you in the butt to say, get over it, this is nothing, or to go, hey, that's legitimate. Now, I remember last week, you told me this was great. And it's like, oh yeah, it was. I'm going to go back and do that. Right. So there's that too. So I'll stop talking now.
Yeah, no, 100% agree. A business bestie is always helpful.
Yes.
And even if that is your coach, like I know that sometimes it pays me to pay someone to kick my ass rather than having a friend kick my ass. Because when your friend kicks your ass, it's kind of a soft kick in the ass. It really is. It might be, it's not, it is to a level, right? But your coach, your mentor, your person of change, your cheerleader in this instance has got to be, you know, and this is where I love from the coaching aspect. It's like we're there for them. We're being the cheerleaders for our clients, right? We want the best for them. We want the best outcome out of it for them. We are going to give them every single thing in our brain that is going to help them get there. And that's our job. And from that passionate place.
And we already see their success. We know they can do it. So we hold them.
Absolutely. And knowing that is like, you know, having that business bestie, going back to that for half a second, is just, it's so powerful. It really is. whether you pay them or not. It's a business bestie at the end of the day. Linda.
Well, alignment for me, I think it's already been said, but joy and ease and lightness. And it's really effortless when things are just happening. Anytime it feels difficult, then I know I'm out of alignment. And, for me, it was very much, or still is really very much about learning how to be first and do second, rather than I'm really good at doing, I'm really good at getting things done. But I've created a mantra for myself, which is just because you can doesn't mean you should. I can do a lot of things, but it doesn't mean that's where I should be putting my energy. And you talked about the human design generator. I'm a manifesting generator, so I can get a lot done and I can do it really quickly. And I used to be also proud of that, but that doesn't mean I'm channeling my energy into the right things. And that's when I can get out of alignment. And I find a lot of my clients are the same. They can do so much. They are so capable. And that's the conditioning, right? It's that we've got to be doing. The more we're doing, the more successful we should be. And yet they're not seeing that. It's because the doing has replaced the being, and they need to get back in touch with that being, come from that place first. And yes, you have to do things, but then it's inspired doing, right? Rather than just doing for the sake of doing.
Yes. And unfortunately, 70% by human design of the population are generators or manifesting generators who are doers by natural mastery, right? So for the rest of the planet who are not doers, right, get burnt out very, very fast because they can't keep up. They can't keep up in the energy department. And then, not only that, like you said, you go doing the wrong thing because you've been conditioned that that's what you have to do. How many people have how many people here in this room or know somebody who a child has done the job that the parents have thought that that's what they were going to do? Or said or conditioned them to think that that's what they were doing for life. They get to the goddamn course and they're like, freaking hate this. I don't want to be this, and blow it all down.
Yeah.
Because it's not in their design. It's not meant for them.
Right.
Yeah. All right.
When I learned that, it was one of the hardest lessons for me, I had to say, but embracing that lesson and really living from that place is really what's made all the difference and helped me be in alignment with what I do.
And this is, so if anyone is resonating with any of these challenges as we go into Denise, like if anyone is resonating with these challenges, please reach out. We'd love to hear your questions. We'll be hanging on for about another 5 or 10 minutes. I know Bex can't because she has another appointment, but we will stay. I'm personally happy to stay for as long as required when it comes to the questions. I know we've got a few watching. And we did have a bit of a shotgun start at the beginning. So Denise, what is your alignment? And listening to all of us, you're probably like, everything I do.
How do I follow all of that amazing amount of wisdom?
I know.
I'm
hearing you. Really, I am.
I agree with every single one of you. When I'm in alignment, things flow. Things are easy. They're effortless. What I need comes to me. It's all that woo-woo energy, stuff.
It's all the fluffies. Yeah.
And it's true. And
it is.
I learned about human design about 2 years ago, and I was told I'm a generator, and I'm basically a worker bee, and I'm a really, really good worker bee. And there are days in my business where I go, you know what? If I was paying myself today, if I had to pay me as an employee, I'd be pretty upset about cutting that paycheck today. So the thing is, recently I met somebody in a network event, and it was just the way it's like, my field is quite unique. And I met somebody in a similar complementary field, and we hit it off and went, we need to have a collaboration. And she basically initiated it. And that's what I learned from human design is we can be really good at making lists and doing things and creating our business and pushing things through. But how effective is that when I was said, why don't you wait for somebody to initiate something before you blah, blah, blah about things? Let them ask the question, let them invite you to a project. And I get the feels, and apparently I've got that sacral thing going on. I know by feeling if it's right or wrong, and I know it pretty quickly. Yes. And so that's really interesting when you learn that. This is how I can't do astronomy. I'm a Virgo. I happen to know I like things done a certain way, but I like to say I'm a recovering Virgo because it's been proven to me right, left, and center. Things can get done even if they're not my way, and they still turn out brilliantly when they're done by that person in their own style. So everybody in alignment, allowing them to be that way, they can thrive. And
yes,
I know when I'm not in alignment, I need to get out into nature. And if I can make one, this, again, my male sales coach, he said, you need to read Good to Great by Jim Collins. Now, I recommended an energy worker friend. She needed somebody to keep her accountable and keep her on track of what her projects were, because she could go off on all these different directions. He coaches her too. And sometimes I'm over at her house because she's at some distance or she's, and he's coaching you completely different. And it's not fair. I'd rather be coached that way. But he's coaching to my style, basically like the disc profile. And so I really appreciate that. So he recommended I read Good to Great. And then he talks, Jim Collins talks about the hedgehog. And that's the 3 circles. So you started this call with the why. What is your why? And there is the what, and there is the how. And when you can get your why down to 1 sentence, your what down to 1 sentence, and your how down to 1 sentence, and that covers your passion, it covers your competence, and it covers the demand for what you have. And you put those, those 3 little circles, and then it makes the Pisces Vesica in that center where all 3 overlap.
Yep.
How many times have I been invited to do something and it's like, wow, that sounds like fun. And I've learned to say, if it doesn't fit in one of my circles, don't say yes.
It doesn't go.
And the ones where it fits all 3 and it's in that little sweet spot, that's alignment for me.
That's alignment. That's fantastic. I love that. I really do love that. Thank you. Bex, you're just about to head off, I know, and we are just about to finally wrap up. So could you please tell us where we could find you, and your links, etc. will be in the comments, I am certain of it, and in the replay. But yes, do you have a offering to the community today as well?
Absolutely. Thank you. And thank you so much to all the panel and Alison for your great facilitation as well. Love hearing about what's happening across the world and the passions of the people that are on and in this beautiful community as well too. So thank you very much for having me, and I'm sorry I do need to pop off. I am the host for the tribe, the Sydney tribe. So if anybody is in Sydney or New South Wales, I'm putting it out to, if they'd like to join us and get to know those in the Sydney tribe, then we've got a meeting tomorrow night at 7 o'clock. So just connect in and you'll get the Zoom link. For me personally, becksmith.com.au, because I'm in Australia, and you can see all the wonderful things that we can do together. I can help you cheerlead with, and a lot of the different reports that I can do for you as well too, based on your passion and pain points and helping you work through that. I've also got a beautiful community called Yintopia, which is the utopia for your emotions. So you can come and fill your cup, find your flow, and release your overflow in that beautiful Facebook group as well too, Yintopia. So that's it for me. Thank you very much for having me. Appreciate it. You're on mute, Alison, too, but thank you for having me and keeping me to time too.
Perfect. Absolutely perfect. I had the Tyler cutting next door, so I had it on myself on mute. All right, so let's wrap this up. Let's go around and see if we have any questions to our beautiful host, Sophia. Do you see, or our tech background lady? Do we have any questions for our panelists here? Are there any questions in the group? And Mel and Sally, please put your questions in if you do have any that you would like to know about anyone here, or if there are any questions about your energy and your business and what that means for you. Would love to hear from you.
Yeah, no questions as such, Alison, but we've just quickly,
Perfect.
Jennifer Regular is watching and she's saying that she's happy to be here and watching.
Oh, thank you, Jennifer. Lovely.
Great.
Thank you for joining us. Wonderful.
Yes. And we do have quite a few
All right.
people who are watching. So for everyone's watching, pop a comment, pop a question in the comments.
Yes, absolutely. And again, please, Mel or Sally, if you have any questions, love to hear from you too. We might start by going around the room and putting out, as Bex did, what you have on offer and where we can find you. And then we'll wrap up if there are no questions after that. Denise, we'll start with you. Let's go.
Well, sure. I know I approach this from a body structural perspective, but I work with energy, as I mentioned earlier in the call. But
Yes.
what I really want the world to know is that your business has an energy field. And
Yes, yes, it does.
we can help your business and you as a soulpreneur balance the meridians, the chakras, the auric levels, and take it into the fourth and fifth dimension to bring your vibes up or loosen the sludge and help you focus where you've had blinders, to say, how is this and this and this going on in your business, and have you reflect on it and then offer a vibrational tune-up. And people just leave. I have never seen anything like this. So empowered. Every single person goes, I am going to be writing those invoices. I am going to be creating that, tool that I need in my business. I will do what it takes to reach out to the customers. I can't believe I thought it was so such a block before. Yeah, it was a block. And so when you can bring the frequencies of your energetics of your business and you as a soulpreneur into alignment, that's what I'm about. And that's at businesscodebreakers.ca, because I'm in Canada.
Lovely.
So businesscodebreaker.ca. And basically that's why I'm here, is to let people think about, would that be valuable to them? Would it shortcut them from the challenges that they're having in pushing their business forward? So thank you for the invitation to talk about what I do.
Absolutely, my pleasure. And I hear you when you say that, because I don't know how many times I've gone around the merry-go-round going, am I going to get off? Am I going to get off yet? Because you just repeat. You repeat the same thing over and over again. And when someone can call you out and go, well, that's where it is, and then go, pull it out, like, I'm coming to you, baby. I'm going to get you to fix me every other day of the week. But I know too that I can do this for myself. Yeah, I can keep up. It's almost like going to your Reiki therapist, right? And the first time you go, she works and you go, another 4 treatments. You're sitting in the back of her mind thinking, got another 4 treatments on this woman. She's got so much she needs to be cleared, right? She then offers you a 4 package session because that's what she's sensing and feeling. And then you say yes. And then from there, it's, you see her, you feel so goddamn good that you keep going back for maintenance. That's kind of what it feels like, right? When you're following your energy and following your intuition and following that guidance in your business of what you're meant to do, you just keep doing it. That momentum just keeps happening. Yeah. Linda, what do you have here today, and where can we find you?
You can find me at my website, which is lindabins.com. Very simple. And I find I like to offer anybody who's interested a clarity session, and I offer those because it's just a Zoom call, and it's because when people come with a problem, what we find is what they think is the problem is never the problem. So the first step is to gain some clarity about what's really going on, and that's what I love to do. I love to listen and really help them identify, okay, this is the real problem, and here's what you can do about it. Whether that's working with me or with somebody else, it doesn't matter, but helping them to gain some clarity about what's really going on and what steps they can take to do something about it. And I always find that people leave just feeling completely different, feeling energized when they thought there was no hope, so just to gain a little clarity. So I invite anybody to, and you could do that on my website. There's a button there, just to schedule a call with me, and I love to chat with anybody.
Fantastic. Thank you, Linda.
Yeah.
I had completely forgotten to say that we do mini sessions as well from sound, what am I calling? Business Code Breaker. By going to that site, there's a button to reach me or my partner.
Fantastic. Thank you. Yes, and I find that too is, this the clarity that comes from just talking to somebody about whatever is going on. Sometimes that is really, really helpful. And I'd love to know what did you say? You're a generator, did you say, Linda?
I think she's a
I'm
manifesting
a manifesting generator.
A manifesting generator, right? Yes, I can see why you like to talk to people, because it's that connection through the throat chakra. Absolutely.
Yeah. That's right.
Beautiful. Lisa, let's hear from you.
Oh, goodness, there's so much. So you can reach me at theguideline.com. There's just a little form out there. I'm not too worried about a website because I seem to do fine with that one. And I can do tarot readings for people. We do some really nice discovery work that way. If someone would like to have a conversation, just a discovery call, which truly is a discovery call, it's not a sales call, to see if I can help them in the moment, see if there's what direction they need to move. It's kind of interesting when Denise was talking about energy blocks with your business, because another thing that I look at is I believe your business is an entity of its own. And so if you aren't treating it energetically properly, then you're still not going to get the results you want, even if you feel like you're doing all the right things yourself. So there's all kinds of fun things that we talk about and go into, from straight on business stuff to good energetic items in there. You know how it is. You guys know how it is. It's all like this anyway. So, but you can go out there and happy to chat with people. And I'm a manifesting generator too. So I just totally get off on talking to people. So that's how that works.
Well, they do call us the radio talk show hosts in because we do like to talk, and we have that energy like the Energizer Bunny to just keep going and keep going. The midnight. When I first heard that term, I kind of saw myself sitting in in Good Morning Vietnam, how he gets up at Sparrow's time clock, 2 a.m. or something crazy, and we're just sitting in this space and just talking to the middle of nowhere. All right, thank you so much.
Okay.
Do we have any questions? I can see
Yes.
Mel has made a comment there. Thank you, Mel. And she has written, thank you, ladies. Lots of tools to think about and feel into. So many fabulous reminders, and the reminder that our business has an energy field and could use a tune-up. That is the cherry on top. I appreciate each of you for your wisdom and willingness to share it. So thank you, Mel. That's beautiful, as that gives me tingles down the back of my head. And Denise has got to head off. So if there is no further questions, we might finish up. Is that right, Sophia?
Yeah, there's no questions, but yes, we can finish up soon. Just Joe's watching, Joe Irwin's watching. She's tuning in whilst working. Great conversation. We've also got Carolyn Williams says keep up the good work. And that's it.
Kind
So
of
I'd just like to
lovely.
thank you, Alison, and thank all our beautiful facilitators. It's been wonderful. Apologies for everyone
Yes.
who's been watching for the tech stuff in the beginning. Can't put it down to Mercury
It doesn't matter.
retrograde. I know.
No,
It
not
just
this time.
happens.
Not this
It
time.
just did. So yes, so
I
I'll leave
think
it
the
up to
energy
you.
was just so powerful that we blew the system. That's my excuse. I'm sticking to it.
That's a good one. I like that.
Well, I would like to remind
So,
those
yeah.
that are listening that each of us have tribes at our sacred community.
Mhm.
Yes.
And
Yeah.
if you've heard anything from any of us or check out the community, there's so many wonderful tribes. Find the right fit.
Thank you. Thank you, Denise.
Thank you, Denise.
Yes, and as your facilitator, I'm going to wrap things up and say thank you very, very much for attending today. It has been an absolute divine pleasure to have each and every single one of you here and to hear your stories and share with us what happens when we try and run a business using our energy, and knowing that we're not alone, that there are so many of us out here that are working with the energy, that are really starting to kind of feel like we're getting brighter in the lighthouse department. There is more of us and more of us showing up and doing the work and being those leaders of change. So thank you to each and every one of you for showing up today. I really, truly appreciate it. I am the host of the Align by Design Human Design Tribe. We host every fortnight, every second week. So we have an upcoming tribe this week. If you would like to attend, we'd be more than happy to have you. We're talking about the root chakra and how we can stay grounded in our life and in our business. So if you would like to join, that will be the link to get on board and know more about human design. All right, Sophia, and do you have anything for the sacred community that you would like to share about?
Well, just want to acknowledge
Going
you
on?
and Denise, who's the host of Tune Ups for Body, Mind and Spirit. All the links are in the comments or will be very soon. And as you said, Alison, everyone who's watching, come and join us. Come and join us just for $1 Australian. For that, you get to try out all of our tribes, or as many if you like. We've got about 30 tribes at the moment. For 2 weeks, you get to try them out just for $1 Australian, including tuning up for the Body, Mind and Spirit, which would cost you a lot more than $1 to go see Denise, to come and learn about human design with Alison, which would definitely cost you more than $1, plus all of our other stuff. And then after that, it's just $15 Australian a month, which is still a bonus because you get everything. $15, like seriously. Click on links in the comments that are in there already and will be coming in very, very soon. So thank you, everyone. It is truly, truly appreciated.
Thank you.